And now, back to the Big Dumb Fun Show.
Back on the Big Dumb Fun Show. We're live online Mondays, 7 to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. The rest of the week you can watch the show because it is in replay right there at BigDumbFunShow.com. If you're a band and you've got music that you would like to have considered for airplay, attach a radio-friendly MP3 to an email and send it to info@BigDumbFunShow.com.
We are back in studio. Welcome back to the show. Patrick Rea, horror filmmaker extraordinaire.
Good to be back.
Thanks for stopping by. Gnurk ran into you over the weekend, is that right?
No.
He didn't run into me in the week.
What a jerk that
weekend,
guy is.
But, you know.
No, I just cyber-stalked him.
Oh,
he
that's right.
me. I guess my aura might have been at the screening. But
Yeah, on
me
Thursday
myself.
I went to a screening of for Cinema KC. Our friend Jerry Rapp, you remember Jerry?
Yeah, I remember the beard.
He basically put together, he was a cast member in this web series that was put together by a series of different directors, Patrick being one of them, and they put all of them together and they screened them over at the Screenland Crown Center, and everyone was waiting for Patrick to show up.
Yeah, and you didn't show up to your own damn screening?
Hey,
okay. And I'm like,
loser. And I'm like, you know what, guys? That sucks, but he's on my show Monday. You should tune in.
I'm defending myself. I was on a family vacation in the woods at a state park in Nebraska, which
during a government shutdown.
Well,
they were back open.
They didn't close the
down.
state parks,
Oh.
but yeah, no, it was a cabin in the woods thing. Nothing scary happened except lots of drinking. So and eating a lot
you were
of
missed,
bad food.
and ironically, the film the segment that you directed, Vindicated,
right.
was it one that a friend of mine, Michael Joyner, is in.
That's right. He was great.
He was there. He was hanging out. We were hanging out. I did a twit pic with him. He went on, of course, and was in the Grace Card.
Right.
You haven't cast him in anything since.
No, well, you know, it's funny because he's such a funny guy, and Vindicate is just not funny.
But he's a great serious actor. We were talking about that.
Really is. He's
how it's
great.
so like ironic. He does comedy, and then here he is, this serious actor. And I go, you know, the thing that makes you a great serious actor, timing.
Exactly.
And being a comic, you have great timing.
Right. Well, and it's one of those things where when you film him, it's just his face. He's got lots of definition in his face that really adds to the dramatic elements.
I think it's one will definitely help the other, but like in the case of Leslie Nielsen.
Right.
You know, he was just drama, and then Airplane hits, and and people thought it was like, I view it now and I think, oh, it's funny. It's Leslie Nielsen. He's a funny guy. These are funny lines.
Right.
But back then he was not a funny. He wasn't the funny guy that we thought he was.
Funnier.
Which made it even funnier back then. But
Right.
it still holds up to this day.
Well,
so
and then you got actors like Bill Murray who are now doing more serious roles. Now
they
their
suck
their
though. I mean,
their
come
face
on.
Go back to being funny.
Like how many
But every role he's in, he's Bill Murray, really.
He's Bill Murray, but it's always him just moping around. Like it's always like, what was
He's
that?
very understated.
It's like
He's
Harrison
right.
Ford in 42. You know, I don't care if you put on a hat and they changed your facial features and shaved your head or whatever. You're still Indiana Jones to me.
Right.
That's right. Oh, you always think of him as Indiana Jones?
I really do.
Okay.
I did too.
Oh, really?
Now, myself, Michael Joyner, of course, going on to some other really great films. I've been in a Patrick Rea film.
Have you?
Played a dead body.
That's right.
That's the kind of
We
acting
discussed this
chops
before.
I have.
And this was a guy eating you, like eating you or something?
Chet.
Or what?
Yeah.
He was
Chet.
Chet.
It was a short film called Shed Out of Luck.
Yes, I watched that, and I watched Gnurk's scene where the guy is like munching on him.
Yes.
And
it was a lot of fun.
And you can
Yeah,
pull
for
that out.
For them, I had to lay there on the ground and
some
try to
dude-
pretend like I'm not breathing.
Some dude's
cannot
breathing
believe
all over
watching
your
that
stomach.
Film now, and you know, it's been what 6 years since we made that film. It was 2007.
Yeah, it was quite a while
I can't
ago.
believe we shot that in one day.
You know, the
I
concept
just look
though
at
holds
it.
up.
Yeah, it really does.
Like
hold up.
you could see that on Criminal Minds or any of the shows nowadays where you have like you don't know exactly where they're going with it, and then hey, he's eating a dude. That sounds. Well, and then there was it Nailbiter? Was that
Yes,
that was
it
a
came
few
out,
years
it
ago?
Came out this year. It came
We
out
had talked with you about that like last year.
Yeah,
I think the year
it finally
before you
came
were
out-
still
yeah,
working on
it.
it.
Finally came out this year through. It's just still in the Red Box.
I was gonna say because it just made Redbox.
Yeah, it made Redbox in May, and it's still around.
That's big money.
And I'm just really happy that I was just happy by the time it came out.
It was one of the first films here locally, I would say, in a long time. You know, before you start going to Ang Lee, and some of these other guys that are, where you actually see in their films out. Like I see, I follow you on the Facebook feed, and you're always like you've got films constantly in this cycle of going to film festivals
Well, we had
winning awards.
we had 5 shorts
you must
play,
be so
like,
busy
over the last
making
weekend.
films. The only other thing you have time to do is build shelves
Well,
for all those damn awards
I
you're
don't
getting.
have any shelves for my DVDs. My wife actually is very upset with me because they just lay on the floor and stack.
Stack up.
That must
Maybe
be
that's
awful.
going to be my Christmas present. this
Tough
year.
problem
So,
to have.
Make sure
buy
it's
shelves.
dirty.
Yeah.
But no, we've done like 4 or 5 short films this year, and it's funny because I still feel like I'm not doing anything. Like I
Yeah.
still don't feel like I'm doing anything.
Well, I see you're doing some storyboards. What's going on with Nailbiter 2?
Well, the plan is right now we're doing a feature film called Enclosure, which we're hopefully shooting in April. We've got a new producer on board.
Now, is that where you put a condom on a pet?
No, I think I should do a rewrite though and make that what it's
Include
about.
that.
It sounds pretty
It's like
terrifying.
Cujo, only graphically.
Yeah, then you don't feel
X-rated.
bad for the animal because they're trying to put a condom on the animal. That makes sense. But so we're planning on doing that in April, and then I want to make my next project over that Nailbiter 2. I just needed a break from everything Nailbiter. Just by the time it came out, I was like, I think I need to make a different movie just for.
Have
my
you ever
next one.
have you
Just
went
to be able to
outside the
come
genre?
back to it and have
Come
it
back
feel
to it with a
fresh.
right, exactly. And I also wanted it to be out long enough so that people feel like build up some popularity and some buzz and
Have you went outside the genre?
Well, I just did a short film called Good Conduct, which is it was written by Michelle Davidson, and we shot the film in March, and it's entirely a drama. It's a dramatic piece. It stars Chris Bilsma and Scott Cordes, and I don't want to give away too much of the plot, but it's a son visiting his father in prison.
Was that tough to make the switch where you're not just constantly trying to build the suspense?
I mean, none of my films are so horror, that they can't somehow kind of move into the dramatic side of things. Like I feel like we've not made a movie where somebody's being chased around with a chainsaw. The grossest movie I think I've ever made is the one with Gnurk.
with Chet.
So
because Gnurk was in it?
Yep.
Yeah, that actually wasn't prosthetic. That was my stomach.
Oh, that was gross.
Yeah.
But he will just go to the ends
I've
of
got
the earth
the
to
ugliest
impress.
belly button you've ever seen.
So
It's
It's an
definitely
Audi.
Oddly, most of the films we made have kind of like straddled the line between being more dramatic than
So what
horror.
what
So
would
it
you
was
say?
really-
What would you
wasn't
say is
art.
the opposite of the horror genre?
romantic comedy.
Romantic.
Absolutely.
Would you ever do that?
I'd have to think about it.
What
I
about
think you
a
should to
romantic
challenge
horror?
yourself. A romantic horror comedy.
That maybe. That maybe.
What
but,
about a
like,
parody of a horror film?
Oh, there we go.
Well, no, just like Warm
like-
Bodies came out and they tried to do the
I
romantic.
like that movie.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Princess Bride, maybe. That would
Okay.
be. I could
Okay.
see myself doing something.
I'm
like
just
that,
wondering
but
if there's
that's-
ever going to be a full-length feature film for The Fluff.
the fluff. There should be.
That
There
was
should
such a
be.
great trailer.
Yes. Every now and then I play that, and I'd like, again, I made it like that was like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe it.
We haven't even spoke about Halloween. Can you stick around
Yeah.
for another
Sure,
segment?
absolutely.
All right, we're in studio. Patrick Rea. Give him your website, Patrick.
Well, first of all, it's www.senoreality.com. It's SENO reality.com.
All right, so pull it up, cnoreality.com. We're in studio with Patrick Rea when we return.